This is Steve Cochran, and this is live from my office. And now that the 4th of July is in the rearview mirror, I've got some thoughts on where we are in America. And America's birthday, 245th birthday of the greatest country in the world. I'll share some of those thoughts with you coming up in just a second. And look, I'm not telling you to just run with what I say and what I believe, but I hope you'll take it to heart. In the meantime, thank you for listening, wherever you listen to Live from my office. People go, Steve, how can I make this a regular part of my day? Well, simply like, subscribe, or follow on whatever platform you listen. If you got an iPhone, the Apple Podcast button is right there. Click it, search Live from my office, and you're good to go. All you have to do there is follow, like, subscribe, rate, review. Spotify, piece of cake. Search me on Spotify after you download the app for all you Android types, and do the same, as I mentioned, with the Apple Podcast, or you could just go to CochranShow.com. But frankly, any podcast platform, I don't know one that we aren't on. So there's no reason you can't enjoy Live from my office anytime you want in this on-demand world. Thank you, as always, to David Hochberg. David Hochberg and Team Hochberg at 855-56-DAVID or 56david.com. Continuing as our title sponsor, and thank you, David, for that. Each July 4th, we have a chance to pause and be thankful to be here, to be us, to be the USA. What made us great is still what makes us great. Dwight Eisenhower once said, there is nothing wrong with America that faith, love of freedom, intelligence and energy from the citizens cannot cure. The United States is truly the envy of the world. But is that where we are now? We are 50 states, but we're not united. We're 330 million people in a country that was founded on the word freedom. But ask yourself, do you believe people that don't agree with you are free? Free to believe what they believe, even if you disagree with it? Do you think they believe that for you? We need more optimism. We need more belief in this country. And we really need more belief in all of us as people to get the job done. One side or the other can't win. Some of us are optimists. The glass is half full. Some are pessimists, and the glass is half empty. But way too many people now feel, both rightly and wrongly, that they never got a glass at all. Look, I am not the world's most positive person, as anybody that knows you would be happy to tell you, but I am positive about this. This is still the greatest country in the world. But it doesn't get to stay that way because we've been that way for a long time. Every great empire has eventually failed. The Egyptians ruled for thousands of years. Rome had a 1,000-year reign. The Brits had a 500-year empire. The Russians, something in the neighborhood of 200 years, but they all failed. Why? Corruption, fraud, greed, wars, very bad management from very bad leaders, and selfish, lazy, narrow-minded, delusional thinking from the citizens. Are we going to be next? The list of today's problems are long. The pandemic and the recovery, the economy, poverty, crime, guns, immigration, racism, healthcare costs, climate change, trust, and trust in institutions and experts, and trust in the police. As flawed as we may be, in as flawed a nation as this, are you willing to see the good, the opportunity, the freedoms we have wither away? I'm not being hyperbolic here. That's the path we're on. I hope you'll join me as part of the 60. It's a mindset. The 60% of us who believe in doing what's best for America and not what's best for one party or the other. When the far right and the far left control the narrative, there are no winners. Divisions grow, trust disappears, anger increases, reasonable thinking ends, paranoia goes up, damage happens, and yes, empires die. That's the spiral it feels like we're in, and I have to ask, how do you think it'll end? With roughly the same percentage of Republicans and Democrats in the country, why would either side think they can get their way if they manipulate the rules, if they hold their breath, and if they throw a big enough tantrum? Life and politics don't work that way. Abraham Lincoln once said, America will never be destroyed from the outside. If we falter and lose our freedoms, it will be because we destroyed ourselves. You know what we need? We need less shouting. We need more listening. We need less sharing online and more sharing with your neighbor, your friends, your family, and the people you're closest to. And yeah, we've got to learn to compromise again. Going forward, I hope you'll take the energy from the 2020 election and stay engaged in politics. And vote. Vote in the primaries. It's absolutely crucial. We need to replace the deadwood that has clogged the river that is Congress. I'm looking at you, Mitch McConnell. I mean, look, do you want to be right? Is that what you're going for? You just want to feel like you're right? Or do you want to do the right thing? It's the only shot we've got. Thanks for listening. God bless America, and God bless your family, too. Happy birthday, 245, to the great United States. How lucky we are. Okay, before we go, as always, I ask you to drop me an email at thecochranshow@gmail.com if you have any questions, if you have any answers, if you have any suggestions, if you have any complaints, if you have any compliments. Look, it's all there. If you want to just write something funny, I could end up reading that too. And, of course, that's where you can tell me about a charity you'd like me to plug on a future episode. thecochranshow@gmail.com. I want to thank Ross Cochran, executive producer, director, orchestrator, choreographer. I guess DeCoste would be the choreographer. But the producer of this show, Ross Cochran, I can't say enough good things about him, and it's not just because he's in the will. I thank you for listening, and I ask you to join us on Wednesday. That would be Wednesday, July the 7th, when the episode posted will be with Dr. Kevin Most on the Delta variant, and Lester Munson, one of the great sports writers of all time, who is now the head honcho at the Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation, who will be here to introduce their new president that they just hired, somebody they moved up from inside, who's going to educate us on addiction. And for you who have family members who are struggling, I hope you'll listen. And if you want to quit whatever is changing your life in a very negative way, I certainly hope you'll listen as well. Again, thanks for being here. My name is Steve Cochran, and this is Live from My Office.
America, sweet America, you know, God done shed his grace on thee. He crowned thy good.
Thank you for listening to Live from My Office, a service of Monkey Run Productions. All rights reserved. The podcast is hosted by Steve Cochran, and it's mixed, edited, and produced by me, Ross Cochran. Steve is available for corporate speaking gigs. He would love to MC your event, and occasionally, he's funny. Thank you for listening. Head to cochranshow.com for more.
I love you, America.